Where'd the music go? What's up, everybody? Welcome to Pop Culture Philosophers. I am Rockin, Robbie Billups, and we are here for a random PCP live Saturday night hangout. Who's joining us tonight? We have no idea. I put an open invitation out to the excitable PCP crew randomly. No plans to go live tonight. But you know how I am. Once I go live, it's hard to stop. Had a great conversation over at Comics with Bueller tonight. I hope you checked out that video. If not, please check it out. As soon as this stream wraps up, me, Bueller, Jim from Jim Mint's Collectible, Will from Hero and the Kid, and Dylan, my man Dylan, that son of a bitch from Dylan's Comics. That's right. We did our best comics of November live stream tonight, and it was great. I had so much fun. In fact, if I had much foresight, I would have put a link in the description below, but I will just say this. Here on the homepage of our YouTube channel, we do have Bueller, his channel listed. So you can just go there and there it is. All right, I actually got let's see. Oh, I think Mike's going to be joining us at some point. I should let Brooks know. Brooks is not on Facebook, so I should let Brooks know personally. But I just randomly decided to do this. I did let Dylan know. He's like, I don't know, man. I'm trying to just chill tonight. And I don't want to step on Dylan's toes. But I do want to go ahead and make an announcement here on YouTube that we've already made in the PCP Army and on Instagram. Y'all see that? That's right. Dylan's Horror Show with co-host Rockin' Robbie starting Saturdays, January 9th, 2021. I cannot tell you how excited I am to be joining my homie Dylan from Dylan's Comics for a new show, a new focus, if you will, on his own channel, Dylan's Comics. And yes, sub up to Dylan's Comics if you haven't already. We are on the road to 1K over at Dylan's Comics. Dylan's Horror Show starts Saturday, January 9th, 2021. The first episode is going to be me and Dylan discussing our top 5, our personal top 5 favorite horror films of all time. I really hope you join us on this journey. Dylan is not only my homie, he's not only my brother from another mother, he is a literal part of the excitable PCP crew. That's right. So There you go. Dylan and me, almost every Saturday in 2021, doing Dylan's Horror Show. We have quite the lineup, y'all. We really do. We spent a lot of time last night, Dylan and I, talking about subjects. And I don't care if he minds or not. I'm going to go ahead and just let you know some of the subjects. Where's my notebook? There it is. I wrote it all down in my trusty notebook. So tonight, in case you're just joining us, we're going to be talking about PCP plans in 2021. We'll be talking about, I got some comics here. We'll talk about some comics. We'll talk about some toys, whatever you guys want to talk about. Just if you got any questions, let us know. And don't worry, this is not a replacement for Rockin' Robbie Live tomorrow night, but it is kind of a replacement for the weekly pop culture wrap-up, which I usually film at the time that I was doing that show with Bueller and the gang. All right, I'll go ahead and let you know 100% our first 5 episodes, right? Here we go. Episode 1 of Dylan's Horror Show, co-hosted by yours truly, Rockin' Robbie Bills. Number 1, all-time favorite horror films. There you go. Number 2, second episode, 80s horror. There you go. Third episode, horror in comics. There you go. Fourth episode, director's spotlight. Who? Stuart Gordon. Holy shit. And episode 5, our first movie review. What movie? Slumber Party Massacre. We're going deep. Here's some other things you have to look forward to in Dylan's Horror Show. How about werewolf movies? Just a conversation on werewolves in horror fiction. What about Dario Argento? What about Italian horror? Right? You know, that's, yeah. What about vampires? What about Giallo? What about Larry Cohen? What about Joe Dante? What about Audition? What about horror on TV? What about horror in specific years? Most specifically, 1985. What about urban legends? What about 90s horror? What about Brian Usnan? What about Tremors? What about the Psycho franchise? What about the Masters of Horror TV show? What about Stephen King's work in horror fiction? What about Universal horror? What about Eli Roth's work? What about creature features? What about horror in the 70s? What about witches? What about Night of the Creeps? These are some of the ideas that you have to look forward to. Episodes of Dylan's Horror Show, starting Saturdays, January 9th on Dylan's Comics. Sub up now. Thank you for all the support. Station. So let's take a look at the chat. This is going to be a fun show. We have no plan on what to do. Open invite to anybody in the Excitable PCP crew and our extended family. Let Mike know to come on. Let me message Brooks. What's Brooks doing on a Saturday night at 10 o'clock? Probably nothing. We'll take a look at the chat here in just a second. Let me message Brooks. Kirk, what's up? Station. Ruben, what's up, my man? Travis. Mad Respect. The Mad Respect. We got Eric Odd in the house. Dan says, never caught a live show. Anyone else watching these boxing fights? Not I, said the Robbie guy, but probably plenty of others. What's up, Two Gun? Pew Pew Station. You know how it goes. I think this is the first time I've ever been early to one of Robbie's live streams. Well, that's what happens when it's just random. Joe's in the house. Says, King of the Black, #1 was insane, and I wrote Marvel about a mistake they made to see if I could get a no prize. The mistake I saw was Eddie had both hands when he cut one off the suit when it was removed. He got his hand replaced in the Venom Beyond story, homie. So they already took care of that, unfortunately. So no prize for you. Plus, I don't even think they give them away anymore. What's up, Ricky? How are you doing? Giallo would be a great one. Thank you, The Mad Respect. One day Will get his revenge on Bueller. What? What does Will owe revenge on Bueller for? Hey, speaking of Bueller, there he is. Hey, what's up, Bueller? I almost said, what's up, Robbie? I'm going to message Brooks real quick. Bueller, if you want to join us, if you want to join me just for a few minutes, let me know. I'll send you a link, my friend. Great show with Bueller tonight. I always feel like I intentionally always like, don't talk too much, Robbie, on these shows. I'm always like, don't talk too much. Whenever we do a battle draft or we do, the monthly meetup, I'm always like, don't talk too fucking much, Robbie. And I always feel like I do. So I feel like I talked over Will a couple times. I was rewatching it a little bit before we went live here. I'm messaging Brooks. I'm live. Want to join? I'll either get a nah or a sure. That's all I ever get from Brooks. Nah and sure. Who cares? Anyway, yeah. Dylan's the one that said, let's do Giallo. And I was like, but I already picked Italian horror and Dario Argento. But Giallo is its own thing. So yeah, it could work. Oh, no problem, Bueller. Station, my man. Get to editing that shit, man. It's coming out Monday morning. You better get ready. Titan Freddy said, I have been collecting comics for 9 years on and off. King in Black is the first time ever that I had to get one of those premium variant covers only because they were all out of the normal books. Wow. King in Black is going to be literally one of Marvel's best-selling books of 2020. So it's not going to be a rare book to find. Your shop may be out, but the regular cover is available still. But did you get a cool one? We always like cool covers. Hell yeah, Bueller. In fact, Bueller, you want to do a show, just me and you, Rockin' Robbie Live with Bueller? You want to do one of those ones again soon? Just like a random Thursday night. We just chat for 2 hours about whatever. Let's do it. Let's set it up. Maybe January. Let's set it up. Here's something cool, Bueller. So yeah, Elliot has agreed to be on the show. So Station, we're going to be talking tonight about our plans in 2021. We already talked about Dylan's horror show. That's going to be fun. Hopefully Dylan will join us at some point. I think he's done for the night though. But my man Dylan starting to really get into horror on his show. Well, didn't mean to hit that. I meant to hit Station. Hell yeah. Let's throw a hearty Station out there for everybody. Bam. There you go. We can always rely on Kid Cudi. By the way, so many people ask me where Station comes from. Let's just say this. Station, first of all, is a reference to the Bill and Ted films, which we here love collectively in the PCP Army, for the most part. But what it also is that throughout 2020 and throughout the journey of the PCP Army in this year and the cohesiveness that's come together. We were talking about this last night, the PCP Army, which is the official Pop Culture Philosophers Facebook group. We were talking about how we all kind of like really got through this year together with each other. And we thought that was super, super dope. And Station to me represents the communion of PCP, if you will. And I know that a lot of people are going out to other comic book YouTubers streams and stationing and spamming their chats and all that shit. And I'm not asking anybody to spam anybody else's chats, right, with the word station. But I am saying, if it's authentic, right, station is a greeting. It's a term that means we are in this together and we vibe with each other. We get it. I am more than excited to see people stationing in other people's chats. And I want to make this a worldwide phenomenon, not just PCP Army. Chris and Ed were years, decades ahead of their time. Station is the catchphrase for us in 2020. We got some comic books to show off. So don't worry, we'll be talking about that. But station everybody. Let's take a look at these chats. I heard that Daredevil 25 is going for $25 now. I got it at cover price. I think that's ridiculous. It is ridiculous. It's all based on speculation. I don't really want to spoil it, but the revelations at the very end of the new status quo of Daredevil, that's what's got people excited. It's totally spoiled in the second printing cover. $25 is too much to pay for that, to be honest with you. I really honestly think that the spec nature of Daredevil 25 is ridiculous. It's not a significant first appearance. It's not anything that's going to last more than literally like 1 year. So I think it's a little, don't overpay for Daredevil 25. That's not a real spec book, I would say. At my shop, the Momoko cover was the most plentiful by a lot. Speaking of King in Black, a really dope cover. I'm not always the biggest fan of Momoko's work, but that was really good. What's up, Miguel Poole? How are you doing? Well, thank you, Dan. I hope the other one's Comics with Bueller, or Dylan's Comics, or Jim Mint Collectibles, or Hero and the Kid, or Everything Comics, or Perry Comics, or so many other great channels, my man. Daredevil 25 up to 50 plus on eBay. That Laces, what's up, my man? I put a link in the Excitable PCP Crew Facebook group. If you want to join us here tonight, you're more than welcome to join me. Everybody is. I'd love to chat with you a little bit about movies and your thoughts on the HBO Max thing, because we're going to be getting on that pretty soon. Because there's no weekly pop culture wrap-up tomorrow morning, but we'll talk about some of that stuff tonight. I swear to you, I went to 4, maybe 5 different shops here in Southern California. With that, I'm very happy with my premiere variant of King in Black. Station! Hell yeah. I bought a copy of Juggernaut #1 second printing just to read. It's Fabian. It's Fabian Nicieza. Big fan of his work, so hell yeah. What's up, Station? Justin! Join us. The link's in the Excitable PCP Crew. Join us. We're about to talk about what we think about the HBO Max move. And oh, this is a weird stretch that's about to happen here. Justin, join us. I put the link in the Excitable PCP Crew Facebook group. We're about to talk about HBO Max and the future of movie theaters. I know you want to get on that. I've read a little bit of Knights of the Golden Sun, but I haven't read all of it. All right, everybody, let me introduce you to Mr. X.
Hey, everybody. How's it going today? What's going on? I forgot my headphones. I can't find them. It's in the dark. I don't know where I'm at. So, there's that.
It's a weird stretch, but everybody, that's Mike. You know it.
Yeah.
I know it. You're not fooling anybody.
Yeah, no. I was just being funny.
We'll see how long he can manage to wear that whole elaborate get up while we're streaming.
Well, I mean, I'm going to disappear real quick to find my headphones so I don't get an echo. So
I'm not hearing an echo yet. Justin said, might do that in a few. Your boy having some bourbon. Get you a glass of bourbon, grab the bottle, and get on the fucking live stream, Justin. We're about to talk about HBO Max and what that means for the future of theaters and how it's game-changing moments.
Let's talk about acting.
Yeah, we haven't had Justin in here in a while since the 5th anniversary stream, right?
Well, I hope his internet connection works this time.
I think that's the only time we've actually ever had Justin on the channel. Like so you could see Justin.
Yeah.
He's literally on almost like every single podcast, and he's only done like one video with us. So he's like, your boy's having some bourbon. Grab the bottle, grab the glass, get a cup of ice.
Go to your garage and log in.
Don't go to the garage.
Well, that's where he usually hangs out.
Yeah, there is so much to talk about. I want to talk to you, Justin, just personally. Hell yeah, man. So what's up, Mike? How are you doing? Or
I'm
Mr.
good.
X? Mr. X. How are you doing? You watched the stream we did on Bueller, right?
Yeah, I did.
What'd you think about it?
I enjoyed it. It was fun. I don't understand the Will Bueller thing though. I didn't see anything. I did see that a few people did talk over him, but it wasn't too bad.
What are you talking about?
So I thought somebody said something like Will and Bueller had some beef.
I don't think so.
Oh,
Any beef I think that we all have together is all just like,
jokes.
yeah,
That's
just
that's
jokes.
what I thought. I thought it was. I
Yeah.
like the little ribs between you and Dylan. So
Yeah, I like that. He's always so prepared.
yeah, well, it's funny because Bueller's is like, okay, let's go to Dylan, and it's just kind of like, and then he really didn't want to talk about what's that Western book?
That Texas Blood?
That Texas Blood, yeah. And he's just like, I really don't want. It's like it's not my favorite, but I want to talk about it. So that was really fun. That was funny.
I love how Biggie in the chat was like, bro, you're going to start with the book you don't like? It's funny. It was a weird moment. I was like, why is he picking Texas Blood? But it was a great discussion. I had a good time. I felt like we were boring the fuck out of Jim at times because he kept yawning and shit. And I knew he just wanted to build his arcade machine, and he kind of forgot, I think, that he was wanting that he agreed to join us on the show this month. But and then that one, he's like, "What kind of show is this? What are we doing?" And he was like, "How long does this thing go?" We're like, "Bro, we have no idea." We tried to keep it at 2, but it was fun. And like I told you the other night, if I go live, even just for a little bit, I just want to keep going. Like I used to make fun of Dylan for doing like 4-5 hour streams. Yeah. I don't think we're far away from our first 6-hour stream.
Well, that's the one thing that worries me about you doing this show is the fact that it's one of those like Robbie and Dylan talking about horror. That could be a 5 to 6 hour show if it gets away from them.
It could, but I'll tell you what, man. I'm structuring my schedule so that it doesn't really overlap too much. I do on Saturday nights after I get home from work. I do the weekly pop culture wrap up. I didn't do it today, obviously, because I was doing the stream with Bueller and Jim and Dylan and Will, and had a lot of fun doing that. And I that's one of my favorite shows to do is that monthly meetup. Like those are my friends, and I love just chatting with them about comic books. Yeah. And that's the opportunity we have to do it kind of face to face.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. I really want to check out Savage Avengers now. Like I think I went like maybe 4 issues in, and it was just kind of like, so I don't know. It makes me want to give that thing a read.
My whole thing about that one is that initially I tried to read it because it had some interesting characters in it: Venom, Punisher, Conan, Wolverine, and Elektra. Right?
Yeah. On
an Avengers team in the Savage Island.
Could have been called the Thunderbolts.
It could have been, right? But here's the thing. Conan, like, I'm not saying anything against Conan. But like when Star Wars went back to Marvel, I was like, it's not going to be long till we get a Star Wars X-Men crossover, right? But we haven't, and I'm actually proud of Marvel for that. But they hesitated not at all to throw fucking Conan into that shit,
Well, they did that what if Conan had done.
Yeah, but that was years ago, man. And when they had Conan before, they just did it with a couple what ifs.
Right.
Like
what if, I can see Conan coming over and doing some one-offs, but nothing. Maybe like guest star in an episode or two, like Man at a Time, like quick story. That could be done. It could be done really well. So I don't know. Like I said, I'm not reading it, so I don't know what's happening with it. So
okay. I me neither. So maybe it's good. I mean, people say it's good. People constantly say that it's good. So
also, do you know do we have a copy of Midnight Vista in the shop?
If not, just make a note, and it's something I definitely plan on keeping in the store at all times.
Okay, because we had talked earlier, and that was I had not read that yet. So
well, you hadn't realized that Elliot Rahal actually had an experience.
Yeah, I didn't know. Well, I mean, I thought he was just kind of like Stokes, and just with aliens. So.
Well, here's the thing: I've always wanted Elliot on the show, but I've always been nervous because, as much as I love Elliot's work, I really want to talk to him about that. Right?
Yeah.
Elliot Rahal has an abduction experience, and when I've interviewed or we've had other people, I hate the word interview. I don't feel like they're interviews. I feel like they're conversations. right?
Right.
So
Well, it's really what it is.
yeah, I mean, we don't have a list of questions for these people. Like I always invite the creators on. I was like, we're going to have a conversation for like an hour or two.
Right.
And so we got a lot lined up, for 2021 for the first quarter. We have a lot. Like we may be doing one every single week. I'm not sure. I maybe have stretched too far last night. But we got some really exciting creators on the channel coming up. And we can talk about that a little bit. We got Rom V is going to be joining us in 2021. We got Ryan O'Sullivan, writer of Fearscape and A Dark Interlude.
Are you going to have Brian on for some of these shows?
Brian's on most of the creator shows, actually.
Okay, cool. I like his insight on some of the things too. He can pull a question out that we weren't thinking about. So
absolutely, that's why we have B-Dubs on here. We got John Lees is going to be our first guest in 2021. Is John Lees, writer of Sync, Hotel, and Mountainhead.
I'm going to have to jump on that one I might just ask you a bunch of questions to ask him.
Well, just jump into the chat and ask some questions. We got David Andre joining us. We got Rich Dewick joining us. We've got Dennis Camp joining us, one of my homies, who's the writer of Maxwell's Demons, one of my absolute favorite people in the comic book industry. We got Alex Packnadell returning. Yeah. How exciting is that? It's always exciting to have Alex on the show. So lots of fun creators that are lined up for the show in 2021. I am supremely excited, though, to have Rom V and Ryan O'Sullivan be a guest on the show. Like, oh my goodness.
Now, because of my schedule today and everything, I didn't get a chance to ask you today, but I'll ask you now, is your interview with Kat. What did you think?
What do you mean about what?
Like, what did you think about that whole experience? I mean,
I think Kat's awesome. I had a lot of fun with Kat. I actually have messaged her again, being like, we got to get you on the show soon. And I know I say that with everybody that we talk to, and like I want to get all of them back soon. And I even mentioned having other people back as maybe like a group, like like I was talking about with Elliot. I was always nervous because I want to talk to him about the alien stuff. I don't know if that's like a sore subject with him, right?
Right.
Even though it's something that he speaks about in his work. And then both Liana and Justin told me on their conversations when they joined us that he is more than like willing to talk about that stuff. And I actually have a plan one day to have Liana, Joe, Elliot, and Justin with me for a Teen Dog Shades night.
That would be crazy.
Yeah.
Just that's crazy. But
having a conversation with Kat was phenomenal. First of all, I really like her book. I think it's written incredibly well. The art, I was trying to skate around it, but the art's okay for me in her book. But the story is incredibly well done, and she has such a great mind critically about comic books. Of course, she writes for Newsarama. And she's got her YouTube channel, Comic Uno, right? She's got a great perspective on comics, and if you guys haven't checked out her channel, you definitely have to.
See, I was completely unaware of who she was, so this was my first real introduction into her, and that's why I was kind of asking you about the experience, because I thought it went really well, and I had I supported that Kickstarter that night, so nice. It's one of those. It's like, and I agree with you. We talked about it. I was like, the art's a little turned off, but then the way she said everything and all her background, and it's not easy. Finding an artist isn't easy. So, and if it works, it works. And I got 7 issues to read with 2 different artists.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be the writing.
Well, it's one artist, but they do switch coloring, and the art gets better as it goes. The art gets more confidence as it goes.
The colorist, that's what it was. I remember something had changed. So, but I was interested in it, and I want to read it. So. And I was really surprised you didn't ask her. You asked her a question at the end, and it wasn't Teen Dog related, which it usually is. So
I haven't done one of those. I have forgot completely to do that, so we'll have to do that again. And I want to get Zach back on. In fact, she actually reached out to us to do the show because of Zach Quaitnance, who is the creator and the guy behind the Comics Bookcase website.
Right.
He's one of my Twitter homies, and we had him on the show talking about his Kickstarter. and I want to get him back on the show because we want to do a show together about how underrated late 90s Marvel is, especially the Kurt Busiek stuff, right?
Is he Beef Bros?
No, that's Aubrey.
Okay.
I reached out to Aubrey and he's like, we just went on this big Beef Bros blitz. So he wants to wait until he has something to announce. But he's going to be, hey, what's up, Brooks? Brooks is here. Did Brooks message me back? He did. He's like, sure. Okay, Brooks, I'm about to send you the link. I messaged Brooks and forgot he had to get on the stream to be like, yo. That's funny. We're going to get Brooks on here. You guys want to see Brooks on the show? Just say no, and I won't send him the link.
Oh, come on. We need Brooks.
We're going to hopefully get Justin on here so we can talk about this HBO Max shit.
God, I hope so. It's been a while since I've seen him. Last time I saw him was probably June or July.
Man, I saw Jeremy today. I haven't seen Jeremy in person since I haven't seen Jeremy or Drew or Justin in person since Jurassic Park. We rented out the whole theater.
I haven't seen Jeremy since the Christmas party. Drew was in the shop the other day. So
I didn't see Drew.
I've seen Drew more. Yeah, I've seen Drew more than I've seen anybody out of that group.
Damn.
Yeah.
All right, Brooks, you have the link sent to your email, my friend. I got an email here from Dennis.
Car's extended warranty.
Oh, that's from yesterday. Okay. I'm really excited to talk to Dennis Camp. I think we got him lined up for March because he's got some announcements to make. And have you read Maxwell's Demons, Mike?
I read the first 2 issues, and then I was going to trade it, and I haven't picked it up yet. I got sucked into Wasted Space, and oh man, you just talked about it, and I forgot it. I can never remember the name of it. Henry.
Fearscape.
I'm bad with names, man.
Oh man,
I know the story.
Ryan so enthusiastically got back in touch with me to do a stream. I was so fucking happy about that. And we got to give a mad station out to Derek. Derek's the one that hooked me up with Elliot because Elliot showed up tonight randomly on the stream with Bueller, and I lost my fucking mind. Mike messaged me. He's like, I love how you lost your mind when Elliot showed up.
And somebody else in the chat calls you out on it too.
I know, but I did. I was like, I have always loved this dude. Speaking of always loved this dude, it's Justin. What's up, my man?
Hello.
He is in the garage. He's in the garage.
Yeah, that's where he always is.
Yeah, it's my studio.
That's where he can smoke.
Yeah, I can smoke out here. But it's also my studio. It's kind of cluttered up with some shit right now, but
check
over there.
You got to get headphones, bro. You got headphones?
Am I echoing or something?
Yep.
Turn your volume down a little bit.
Turn volume down or get headphones. Speaking of volume down and headphones, this Brooks. Brooks is in the house too. What's up, my man?
Hey, what's up?
What's up, Brooks?
Well, nothing much.
Brooks is like, hell yeah, ran a PCP stream, time to break out the fucking Rolling Rock.
It's like the only time I drink these is during these.
Hell yeah. But everybody, Justin is here. Station for Justin. Let's get a Kid Cudi full-on station here.
Yeah, I haven't been watching any of our videos. I see.
Let's get a station for Justin. It's been a while since you've been on here. Is that you, bro?
Yep, that's Justin.
That's
so
me.
Unprofessional. At least his internet's working right now.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. What have you guys been up to?
Here's a question.
Okay.
The announcement of HBO Max and Warner Brothers and releasing their movies in 2021, both in theaters and on the streaming service at the same time. Obviously, these are unprecedented times, but it's also a very game-changing decision. What do you think about it, Justin? Because I know you're a theater lover.
So it's cool for now, but it's a really big deal as far as the theater industry goes because they're already in distress, like to the max. So like if this continues after the next few months, it's really. Are we cussing on the live streams now? I can't remember.
No, not at fucking all.
Oh, yeah. It's really going to fuck up the theaters if they keep doing it for like more than 6 months or so. because like hopefully next year, I think that the government will do a kind of like a bailout or a stimulus thing for the theater industry because they got hit super hard. It's going to be cool to be able to see this stuff from home when it comes out, but it's a really big hit for that. And I don't think cinemas are ever going to go away entirely, but we might see more theaters closed than already have next year.
They were already hurting even pre-COVID,
Yeah.
And so it's a big gut punch to them. But at the same time, as somebody who loves theaters, my personal theater closed because of COVID. It's done, So when theaters really fully come back, it's a whole new game for me anyway. I also understand that you can't let these movies sit on a shelf for 2 years. People will forget about Wonder Woman. People will forget about the MCU. I know it may not seem like that, but they will. We're very fickle as a pop culture society at times, at large.
Well, you think that, but we've been so inundated with all the movies, like especially with the MCU. They've been coming out. 3 or 4 per year for the last few years.
Yeah, bro. But westerns and musicals dominated the 40s and the 50s, and they're done. So.
Well, also a thing too that people don't realize is that the toy business is also driven off the movies, because your diehard collectors are getting out there and buying the Black Widow, the Marvel Legends, the Black Widow set, but your casual fan isn't going to do it until they watch the movie, because they don't know who the Taskmaster is. They don't know who the Red Guardian is. So why should I buy that figure? And when they watch the movie and go, man, this dude's really cool, I want to go buy that figure, then everything starts selling. And
isn't that going to be the weirdest thing in 2021 when the Marvel Legend of Red Guardian becomes the most sought after figure?
It's very possible. I mean, that's what happened with us at the shop. I had ordered a bunch of the pops for Star Wars for Force Awakens, and nobody kind of knew who these characters were. But as soon as that movie came out, we sold out within a week. And so it's just kind of without that support, the Wonder Woman DC figures. I mean, with the McFarlane being new, he's doing really good this year, but he hasn't done. The only movie figure he did was the one 1984 figure, and it's moving kind of decent. So I'm just waiting for that movie to come out so that figure will fly.
I got you. I'm just trying to say that the movie audience can forget something when we're talking about years. Most people can't think about who won Best Picture 5 years ago, right? And I understand that the MCU and Wonder Woman hit hard, and MCU obviously super hard. But the MCU is at the point where they have ended, basically. Some people, especially because the next movie is Black Widow, and it's not this big game-changing movie. And we just had a big wrap up of a 10-year story. It'd be easy. Maybe when Black Widow releases next year, it's not that big of a deal as if it would have happened 6 months after the last Marvel movie. And with Wonder Woman too, that was a big hit, but if you let it sit too long, plus you can't spend millions of dollars on these films and then just sit on them for 2 years. Justin knows this. You just can't do that as a studio. You can't just sit on money like that, right?
Yeah. No, you're right. And by the way, since you guys are all wearing glasses and shit, I figured I'd pull these dudes out since we're talking about the MCU.
Nice. Do they light up?
No.
Damn.
They are polarized though. But yeah,
Nice.
It's hard for them to sit on that for so long. Even when they finish filming, for example, the Grand Tour.
Yeah.
With Jeremy Clarkson, James May, and Richard Hammond finished filming their last special for Amazon they finished filming it earlier this year, but they sent it to Amazon as a completed product in July. And they're just going to be releasing it on the 20th, I think, for some reason. And it was nobody's really sure why, but it's
Christmas.
Presumably Amazon was it's a streaming service, so it's really weird how they sat on it for that long. But I can't even imagine a studio making a feature-length film like 2.5 hours long, and then just waiting a year and a half to put it out.
Yeah,
Like that's
weird.
nuts.
Yeah,
Well,
and
look,
especially if you're building franchises,
Yeah.
you know. And so, Brooks, what do you think about the whole idea? So I know that you knew that Wonder Woman was releasing on HBO Max.
Yeah, I
But
heard that a while back.
Warner Brothers announced that all of their movies in 2021 will release on HBO Max and in theaters. Because I think here's the thing, y'all. They lost money on Tenet, which should have been probably one of the biggest movies of the year, you know?
Yeah.
But
Well, I mean, I'm for it, considering, the situation. And, like, you do need to, keep people, engaged in, watching movies, And if you can't go to the theater at the moment, it's just kind of, you just have to, work with what you got. And, like the theater experience, like, I think is enough for most people to go to see a movie. Like, so I mean, possibly they'll make like some movies, like maybe lower budget movies, maybe they'll kind of get that kind of treatment maybe in the future where it's released theatrically and maybe on a service at the same time. I think like blockbusters and like, movies like that will probably still be theater, and then later on, like once the whole, situation resolves. But I think it's an interesting idea. Like I'm all for it, obviously, because I'd like to watch these movies.
You got to release these films because you're also in production of other films.
Mm-hmm.
Like as you're sitting on Wonder Woman 1984, you're making Batman. You're ready to make Aquaman 2. You got to kind of get on it. And
with like, especially with these comic universe movies. It's like if you like, it's like when a comic series is like so highly anticipated and it takes forever between issues, people lose interest in it. Like no matter how good it is, like if it takes forever for the next issue to come out, people just lose interest. They drop the book, and it suffers.
Especially
but it's not as if they couldn't just wait. 6 or 8 months and then just start dropping them like every 3 months. If Marvel put out a movie every 2 months, people would still flock and watch them.
No, I don't think they would.
Up to Endgame, but it's a whole new world right now, man. We have no idea people's interest in actually seeing Black Widow after seeing her die. You know what I'm saying? So we don't know. And also, if they wouldn't have released certain movies just straight up digitally this year, we wouldn't, by the way, PCP Army have Station. So we gotta thank everybody for that. But no, I get what Justin though.
I mean, there's such a thing as saturation, like too much, and they got to a point right before the pandemic where they were saturating the market, and there was so many. And will be the first one to admit I'm way behind on movies this year because I've been watching a lot of TV this year.
Well, there also aren't a lot of movies this year, so I don't think you're too far behind.
No, I think I think
that's
one of the. Go ahead.
One of the positives of the pandemic is I've fallen less behind on movies, but
I was gonna say I think there's just a handful on Netflix and a handful on Amazon, and then the few that came out the theaters. So I really want to see what the Oscars look like this year. It's gonna be
weird. It's gonna be weird.
They did say they're gonna be in person. They're gonna have the actual ceremony.
So as I said, it's just gonna be dominated by streaming services this year, and not actually theater.
But the Oscar movies haven't even been released yet. They don't get released until, like, honestly, they don't get released to the general public until usually after the new year, and sometimes during Christmas. So we're just now about to be getting those. Maybe they will go to streaming services. I think that the Oscar movies, they're a different kind of caliber than what we've been talking about, with like Wonder Woman and Black Widow, right? But I was thinking personally, I was like, what's my favorite movie of the year? And I was like, it's easy for me right now to pick my favorite movie of the year. Now I haven't seen certain ones like Tenet, for instance, but it comes out in like 10 days on Blu-ray. But there's just not a lot of options right now for us. Now for the Academy, these movies never get released until the very, very end of the year. So we don't even know really what the Oscar movies are yet.
Well, I think that's one of the main reasons that, like, I think Chris Nolan went through with the Tenet release in theaters to kind of try to prop up the industry. I think there's that little bit of him that was like, nobody else is releasing great movies this year, so I'm gonna go ahead and throw that out there and maybe get some Oscars.
Some people blame it on his ego. They say he was so egotistical that he had to release it in theaters, right? And he said that. He's like, this movie can only be released in theaters.
Well, yeah.
And I get
That's
that.
not necessarily an ego thing either, because most of the major directors like him, Tarantino, Scorsese, like they design these movies to be viewed on this certain experience, and to have them release at home, it's not the same at all.
It's not the same. It's not the same at all. And I will appreciate watching Wonder Woman or any other HBO Max thing that comes up, Matrix 4, whatever. If I watch it at home, I'll appreciate that. But there is something different about that theater experience. Going together, I was mentioning this, going together, paying too much for Twizzlers and a cherry Coke, and then hanging out with your friends outside afterwards, talking about the movie. That's fun stuff that I miss. So,
I mean, it's fun to watch a new movie in your home theater with some friends and then talk about it after. It's kind of the same thing, but you don't get it's like, can you imagine watching Blade Runner 2049 at home?
I haven't seen that period, so
that would have sucked.
First time I watch it will be at home.
I mean, that would have sucked, because that movie, that's one of those that you need to watch in the theater.
Yeah, it's designed. It's like that. And what was Nolan's last movie?
Dunkirk.
Dunkirk, yeah.
I didn't see that one in theaters.
It was a pretty good movie, but it was an amazing experience.
Yeah.
Like, if you had watched it for the first time at home on a TV or even on a laptop or a fucking cell phone, it wouldn't have been anywhere near the same as it would have been.
There's also this idea that if you watch a movie at home, no matter how well you like, when we watch a movie at Holshoe's place, right? Hammer Time's got that great projector. Even though, let's be honest,
say it.
The projector's blacks could be a bit deeper and richer. Okay. But that's a fun experience, right? And it's close.
Yeah.
It's not quite, but when you're watching at your house, you watch things at your house all the time. Going to a movie theater, it's almost like you're in an alternate dimension. And like when you walk out of the theaters, like you return to our world. It's like I find myself more likely to completely immerse myself into this alternate reality that is the fiction of this movie when I go into a theater, because I feel like I'm stepping into another world. Does that make sense?
Yes, because it's like going to the bathroom. Like at home, I can pause it and then go to the bathroom and come back. At the theater, if it's a really good movie, you're gonna hold it, and you better hope your bladder's strong. So, and like that's a thing that you can't. That's an experience. Like you can't get that. Like you can't get that at home because the movie's so good. But you're like, which one's gonna end first?
Yeah, and it's like it's when we were kids. The younger people won't understand this experience when you're watching a show on regular cable and commercials come on and you got to run to the bathroom real quick, and your buddy you're watching it with is like, "Hey man, come on, it's back on."
Yeah, and you're like popping the popcorn. You're like, "No, it needs like 30 more seconds, I promise." And you can't stop. There was no like, oh my goodness. I remember like meticulously setting up my VCR to record episodes of Buffy, so I never missed anything. Like, you couldn't miss an episode. If you missed an episode, you were fucking fucked, man.
Yeah, I did that with Dragon Ball Z back in the day.
Dude, you would record hours of Dragon Ball Z for 15 minutes of story.
Yeah.
But you could just watch it and fast forward, and it was easy. It was great.
I remember the first time I had a friend that had TiVo, and like that was amazing.
Yeah.
I still didn't think like the money that it was costing was not really worth it, but like but behind it was like, oh, that's cool. I dig it.
The first time I had DVR, I thought it was awesome, and then I filled that shit up so quick with shit I would never watch again.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But streaming's better, I think. As long as your internet's working. My internet went out the other night, and I was like, well, I guess it's Saved by the Bell. Because I got that on DVD.
Yeah, my internet went out the same night also.
I know.
And we ended up watching The Three Amigos on
Nice.
DVD.
The three. What's the little thing they do?
Uh,
Yeah, it's like the whole thing. I love it. I got to learn that one day. I've been saying that my whole life. I was like, I got to learn that Three Amigos thing.
There's a plethora of plethoras.
Tell me, Jefe, what is a plethora?
I vividly remember the bat scene where they eat the bat. I don't know why, but that's stuck
My
in
little
my head.
buttercup has the sweetest smile.
You ever seen that movie,
I think
Brooks?
I've listed that movie on at least one of the podcasts as one of my favorite comedies of all time.
I think you did the comedies podcast.
Mm.
The Three Amigos.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen it, but it's been like so long. I barely remember a lot of it.
Dude, watch
I do
it again.
remember the thing though where they did the clap and then put the hands on their waist
Yeah.
And then the pelvic thrust.
pelvic thrust.
I think you may have mentioned it. I hope you mentioned it on the our third episode, Justin, which was the third three. It was like what, threequels, thirds, and threes, or something like that.
Maybe. When
Yeah.
was that? A couple years ago?
Yeah, that was like 5 years ago, homie.
Yeah, I don't
There's more than 5.
have the best memory.
I think we only talked about our favorite number threes, actually, though.
I know we did the sequels. I don't remember.
But we did
Thirds.
it was threequels, thirds, and threes or something. That was our third episode, and we talked about our favorite part threes of films. And then we also like dived into Three Kings and Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Yeah.
Because we thought we were being clever.
Did I do the Three Musketeers with Tim Curry?
I don't know, man. Maybe we weren't that clever. I don't know. It was early, bro. It was our third episode. And our first 2 episodes were not intended to be PCP episodes. They were intended to be SOE and Rockin' Robbie
Rockin'
episodes.
Robbie, because they were the.
Stuck in the 90s.
Yep.
Anyways,
Why don't we do a Steve Martin double feature and do Planes, Trains, and Automobiles and Three Amigos?
because if we do planes, trains, and automobiles, we got to do it for Thanksgiving.
All right.
And that's past. But Three Amigos is something definitely we should do.
All right. What about the
Yeah.
jerk?
Yeah, what about Bowfinger? What about
Dirty Rotten Scoundrels?
Dirty Rotten Scoundrels is one of my favorites.
Like that'd be a fun. That's kind of a serious comedy.
What about a Steve Martin podcast? That'd be a good
We
podcast.
should.
Yeah. Oh man, we could do Roxanne. I haven't seen that movie in forever.
Did you guys? This is probably off topic. I get if we have a topic right now. Have any of you guys watched the Steve Martin and Martin Short have been touring around for the last couple of years doing not stand up but like a live show?
Yeah.
It's
I
been
haven't
more the musical, hasn't it?
I mean, Steve Martin plays his bluegrass music, and they do little numbers like My Little Buttercup and stuff like that.
It's kind of it's supposed to either come to Nashville or Atlanta. One that I wanted to go to. It's got a very Smothers Brothers feel to it. I don't know if you remember the Smothers Brothers or not. From the 2 brothers that had the TV show, and they did comedy and singing. One played the guitar. It's kind of the same thing. So
Yeah, it's like a variety show that travels. It's pretty neat. I think it's on Netflix right now.
Yeah, Mr. X's mic. Sorry for the
What?
spoilers.
what?
Brooks didn't
I
even
think
know.
there was a mysterious stranger this whole time.
Fat Laces says, for show, Roxanne or the jerk. Fat Laces, what's up, buddy? I once again have said, yo, we got the link in the Excitable PCP Crew Facebook group. Join us. Tacky says we need to do Purple Rain. You keep saying that.
Purple Rain.
Billy, who's usually
Purple
trolling
Rain.
shit out of us, I think he may be trying to troll us, but I'm serious as fuck. Yes, UHF. We need to do that one.
I love Kramer in that movie.
And Smothers Brothers is great. Speaking of Kramer, Michael Richards being great in films. How about Problem Child? That's a good one. Bowfinger
Michael
is
Richards was in Problem Child.
Yeah, he's the
He's
convict.
the
that he's
crook,
like-
right?
Yeah, that he's writing
Oh
letters
yeah,
to.
where you
Yeah.
get the bow tie from? Yeah.
Oh no, he was an escaped like serial killer or something, wasn't he?
Yeah, he killed.
He had gotten out though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Or he did he escape or did he get out? I don't remember, but yeah, that's the whole thing.
He escaped, I think.
Oh, he escaped. It was like the part with Christopher Lloyd and Dennis the Menace, where they just kind of bumped into each other or whatever and started hanging out.
Yeah, under the bridge.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why I remember that movie, but I do. I think that was because of Walter Matthau. So.
Yeah.
That's a good movie, man. I watched that shit when I was a kid. All right, the first dead air of the night, everybody. Everybody, first dead air of the night.
Well, we were in mid-thought.
That means it's time for a joker. Let me tell you about this little man I know. His name is Hellboy. All right, that's enough of that. Brooks went to go take a piss. He's like, "What's going on? I'm out."
Dog in.
Woof, woof, woof,
woof.
Who let the dogs in? Woof, 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 woof.
All right, you have 4 excitable members of the PCP crew here, everybody in the PCP Army. So, got a question for us? Throw us out there right now. Throw out your questions. Justin, good to see you, man. Haven't seen you in a while. I saw Jeremy today. That was exciting.
Yeah, I was talking to Jeremy earlier. He said he saw you at the Deep earlier.
Yep. Had a nice conversation. We were talking about our internet's dying that same night. And I was like, I don't know. There was even a part of me that's like kind of dumb because I was like, I know this isn't true, but it feels logical. But maybe when it's super cold, the internet gets slow.
I think they were you have Charter, right? Or Spectrum?
No, I have Xfinity, man.
Xfinity.
No.
We
It must have been a bigger deal than I thought.
It was a conspiracy. It was the government. They took it down.
It's the only internet I can get in my apartment complex. It's like they get like a contractual thing or some shit. I don't fucking know. I have no choice. Have no choice. What?
To keep from dead air, I'm working on my top 10 toys for the year 2020. What I thought were the best.
Nice.
So.
Oh, speaking of which, check out what I found. What's up, fool?
Bro.
Yeah.
Mr. T.
That's cool.
And the best thing is his golden gauntlets are called Jibber and Jabber.
Oh, nice.
Got that Jibber Jabber, fool.
I haven't read the comic yet for those, the new ones.
It's very short. It's just like a little page long.
Yeah. Because I know they did one for and they're all different and unique. There's no doubles. Not like the Masters. The Masters Universe just did one individual comic for all the figures. So I'm thinking about I don't know which one I want to put on there. I know one of those is on my top 10. I just don't know which one. Like they're so great. Like I love the Finn Balor. I like the Jake the Snake. And I don't know. That Mr. T is really cool though.
Yeah.
I like that it's the Fisto and the Jiu-Jitsu all together.
We got a question. Fable
Cool, what's up, Fable?
What pop culture related thing are you looking forward to in 2021? Let's start with Mr. X.
Hopefully returning to theaters and live concerts. So it has been a drag and my Instagram has suffered greatly. I could have gone out and taken things, but I really miss concerts and movies. So those are the two things that I'm looking forward to the most. So
nice.
There's a few toys and a few books that are coming out that that will pique interest. But those are the two big ones.
What about you, Justin?
Literally anything in person. Actually, the Dragon Con Dragon Con is the thing I'm looking forward to most in 2021.
Yeah,
Because we didn't get to have it this year. It's going to be fucking lit next year.
Yeah, I bet. Gonna be
Huh?
packed.
He just said there's going to be a lot of alcohol for you.
But
Yeah.
the whole thing happened.
I had to turn my sound down because I was getting echo earlier.
Yeah, man, me too.
But all the conventions next year that didn't happen in 2020 are going to be so awesome. Like the PCP, I mean the Pop Culture Expo in Huntsville.
Yeah.
I cannot wait for that to happen.
You know, it did happen in this year. You just didn't.
It was
show
at the beginning of when everything got closed down and stuff.
It was in the middle of it, but yeah.
It was like June 15th.
I didn't go.
Yes,
but I'm looking forward to going next year.
Well, yeah, good. Our panel was we didn't have time because there was this whole like protocol. You only had so much time, like it was super strict on getting in and getting out. So we didn't have time to like set up equipment, right? So they actually streamed it, so it's on their Facebook page, our panel. So that's cool. Plus the panel I did with Chris Claremont when he whatever. That young man. Oh, a PCP convention? No. I just rather attach myself to Jeremy's convention. Jeremy does a great job with the Huntsville Comic and Pop Culture Expo. But yeah, cons are a good thing to look forward to next year, Justin, once they start.
Yeah. I mean, I go to Dragon Con every year. This would have been my...
I've never been, so.
You have to go. If any year, you have to go in 2021 because it's literally my favorite weekend of the year, even more so than my birthday week.
Well, the problem is everybody at work wants off that week.
Well, you're the fucking manager, so make Mike work and you go.
Yeah.
It's not a bad idea.
It depends on what. I mean, you go with Nate and Tony? Because they always go.
I think I'd have more fun with Justin.
Go with Paul?
Oh, yeah.
No, I'd rather go with Justin, to be honest. I know I'd have fun with Justin.
I mean, Justin and Paul,
me and Justin have fun every time we're out together.
or in.
Or in. Like, it doesn't matter. So that's something I'm looking forward to in 2021 personally. It may not be pop culture related, but it is because we're pop culture philosophers. I'm looking forward to the podcast returning, having you guys over into the house to record episodes of the podcast because we only did one episode this year, and that was our big triumphant return. Remember with the Kevin Smith episode. I'm looking forward to having Brooks over to do Comics Revisited along with Jelani and Jay Strick and Brian. I'm looking forward to having some movie reviews. I'm looking forward to the pop culture plans in 2021, and I'm really looking forward to, like, believe it or not, I agree with Billy. Snyder Cut, bro. I am so goddamn pumped for the Snyder Cut. I'm beyond excited. And I'm really excited to check out the Eternals because that could be the most Kirby Marvel movie we've had so far, which up to this point has been Thor Ragnarok. What about you, Brooks? What are you looking forward to pop culture-wise in 2021?
Oh, shoot, that's like... I can't even recall what all is supposed to be coming out in 2021. Is the new Batman supposed to hit next year?
Nah, that got delayed. It's 2022 now.
Shit.
But we get Black Widow, Eternals, Shang-Chi, I believe. A new season of Umbrella Academy, Stranger Things, I think. So Stranger Things, that's a good one. That's a good one to look forward to.
Yeah. I'm just looking forward to not having to wear a mask everywhere and all that shit.
No shit.
It's not that bad once you get used to it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not terrible, but it's still like inconvenient. And I can't do my late night Walmart shopping.
Hey, I just had some buddies show up, so I'm going to get drunker and dip out of the podcast. You guys want to say hi to my buddies Matt and Ryan?
What's up, Matt? What's up, Matt Ryan?
You're on a live stream on YouTube.
Cool.
I
salute you.
There's a whole 31 people watching this.
Station.
Yeah, do the station thing. Do what Robbie's doing.
There you go.
Hell yeah.
Oh, that's with the hand up. That's all it is.
Changing
All
lives.
right, well, I'm out. This was fun. I'll get in on another one soon.
Thank you, Bob.
Good to see you guys.
Always a pleasure.
Yeah.
Then there were 3.
He's still trying to figure out how to get out of here. So that's why there he goes. Okay. So now it's just us. But Justin joined us. How amazing was that?
That is a rare treat.
He never joins us on video. I think he's the most handsome member of the PCP Army and the excitable PCP crew. I do. I honestly do. And he never shows. That's why we always have fun together, because it's like when me and him hang out, it's like Brad Pitt and George Clooney, man.
Oh, yeah. Oh, can I tell the story about after the podcast one night, the James Bond podcast of hanging out with Justin?
Yeah, man.
All right, cool. I didn't know. So anyway, we're hanging out. We did this awesome James Bond podcast, and we're hanging out like during one of the breaks.
It was never aired.
Yeah. So we should really redo that for next year. But I'm
George Clooney, Justin. I'm George Clooney. Just so you know, you're Brad Pitt. I'm George Clooney. And Tad was our Matt Damon, but we lost him.
He'll be back, hopefully. So anyway, Justin has got this James Bond podcast, so he brought his Walter PPK, and we're all looking at it and whatnot. He hands it to Robbie, and then Robbie just starts jumping around on the porch, pointing it at people, and it's just like, oh my god, like
because I'm drunk, man.
Yeah, I know.
I'm drunk, dude.
So Justin, drunk Justin,
and I'm scared.
Drunk Robbie,
at that point,
I was loaded gun.
At that point, I was scared of guns. I was drunk, and I was like, "Let me conquer this fear. Grab this to me, unloaded gun, and have fun with it." Right?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Continue.
Unfortunately, it wasn't unloaded. Justin took it and then unloaded it, and then it was fine. So. But it was one of those like you hadn't racked. I
didn't shoot nobody.
You hadn't racked one yet, so it was fine. So like even if you did pull the trigger, like it wouldn't have fired. But that was fine.
Justin says it was unloaded.
It was not. For being the most sober person there, it was not. I remember that much.
Whatever. That James Bond podcast was fun, but I got way drunk because we were drinking fucking martinis, man, right? And I loved my martinis extra dirty, but with garlic clove stuffed olives.
Yeah.
And I got so fucking sick that night. Since that night, I've never eaten another garlic stuffed fucking olive. Just the regular pimento ones are fine, but no more garlic.
What was was it Sea Breezes or Cape Cods that we drank?
I don't remember. The Power Rangers trash can was the Corks and Corks. Episode. Yeah. The Romulan ale night. Yep.
Oh, Jesus.
I had this really dope ass fucking like kid fucking 1993 Power Rangers trash can. And I used it as my actual trash can. We got so wasted on Romulan ale this podcast because we were drinking Romulan ale, we were drinking beer, we were drinking wine. Like, we were really doing all this stuff. And Romulan ale was just what? It was like 151.
And Everclear.
And Everclear and Blue Curacao, right?
Yeah.
I ruined the Power Rangers trash can. Ruined it. Yeah, that's what he said. Tell him about the aftermath of Corks and Corks. That's still one of my favorite podcasts we ever did. I love the ideas we had for Rockin' Robbie, man. Those were fun.
I remember that one from my end. I overslept and never put the books out for that Wednesday. So Ed was not too thrilled with me.
Yeah, you got fired for a little bit, man.
Yep. I came back like 2 weeks later. Maybe less than that. Maybe a day.
Brooks, what's one of your favorite memories of PCP and SOE podcasting and shit, man? You got one? Pops in your head?
I think they're all pretty. I think the experience is pretty similar for the most part. Like they're all fun for me, you know. It's just fun, you know, getting out here and talking.
Listen to fucking Joe Biden down here.
Yeah.
They're just all fun. It's all fun. Tacky says that Power Rangers trash can is $200 on eBay. I hope so.
Is that what somebody's offering, or is that sold completed? I need to see the sold completed.
Don't drink and drive, kiddies. No, Brooks, that was a nice political answer.
Actually, the truth is, I actually hate every one of these.
Yeah.
I just keep dragging myself back to the computer. It's like the whipping yourself on the back.
One of my favorite PCP memories of recent times with you has been the way that you warmed up to Reanimator so quickly.
Man, I did not expect I was going to like that movie that much. I was going to be like, this movie's fucking rad, dude.
69 dudes. That's what it felt like.
The Bill and Ted rewatches was great. It's like, I love the shit out of those movies, even more than I remember back in the day watching them.
Yeah.
Especially the new one. The new one was
it changed my life. Good. Those 3 movies, it's like the best movie trilogy out there, man.
Yeah. Better than the Star Wars prequel trilogy?
What about better than the Star Wars sequel trilogy?
I don't know, man.
Do you think DC will stop making comics in 2021? No. No.
No, I don't think so. I think they'll take a hit and then start trying to buy in everybody, signing new contracts when sales start to dip.
I talked about this at length, and we'll talk about it probably more tomorrow night on Rockin' Robbie Live. But
it's going to be a subject to be talked about, and you've talked about it for since October.
Yeah,
so,
even before that. These rumors started before the COVID shutdown. So
as soon as they announced they were leaving Diamond, leaving Diamond, they were just, yeah. So also, I hate that they left Diamond because I don't know. Before I could look to see if something's available, just go to Diamond's website. Now I can't. So it's a little frustrating sometimes at work.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's fine.
Oh, man, we got a super chat.
Oh, boy.
Y'all know what that means. Everybody get ready. Here we go. Let me tell you about this old man I know. His name is Mikey. He says something I have learned as I have ages. Every move is better with good friends like DCP. I think I agree with you. PCP ages well. And when we get together, we give a mighty shout and station. Thank you so much, Mikey. We really do appreciate that. Scream out with their horror and rage of Brooks, the Master Mario Shroom Master. Thank you, my man.
Well, I can get Mr. T to do the station thing.
Station! Look at that. He does it. Station fool. Hell yeah, man. Dude, Brooks, here's something funny, right? So other comic book YouTubers, all right? They do streams, like we do, right? And they do streams that are very serious. They take very seriously. They have prepared subjects. They talk about them, right? The PCP Army's been up in them being like, station! All over the place. It's great because it's so authentic, station. Is it not, Brooks?
Yes.
Station. You know the origin of station, don't you, Brooks?
Yeah, I do.
Explain it.
You saw it on Bill and Ted, and then you started doing it all the time.
No, I mean why it was in Bill and Ted. Why it's station?
I assume because of the alien dude. Oh yeah, you told me that the reason why the creators came up with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they got drunk while they were writing the script. And it's like something said police station. So they just started going station.
Yeah. They were editing.
That sounds like something we would have done.
Yeah, they were editing their script and they left out this one bit because it said interior police station. And when they were deleting, they left the station. So when they were rereading the script one night while they were drinking to edit it, they just saw randomly station. And so they just went, station, station, and just like started this whole thing. And Mike, who is the first person in a Bill and Ted film to utter station?
That'd be James Martin of Faith No More.
There you go. And
So-
Brooks, who was the last artist to utter the word station in a Bill and Ted film?
What was the dude from Face Music's name? Shoot.
He's also in Westworld, if that helps.
No, I never watched Westworld.
What? Are you thinking of Kid Cudi?
Yeah.
No, because Kid Cudi says it, and then the Wild Stallions say it. It's Bill and Ted and their wives, man. Remember? Because they respond. It's a trick question. See, I told you there a little bit.
I'm so clever.
I know, right?
Say, how's that working out for you?
To deceive such a great mind as mine.
I love it. Oh,
Station.
Station.
James says it's crazy how cool it is to see y'all on here all the time. Station. I don't know what that means, but hell yeah, brother. Amen. Let's do it. I got a couple things I want to show off. So my boss gave me an old school comic from 1956. I have a comic book from 1956 in my hands that he gave me because he looks at me and he goes, "This has two things that you love in it," and he gives this to me, and I went, "The Virgin Mary and Jesus." Like, I was like, "Is that what you mean?" Because like I am fascinated with visions of the Virgin Mary. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't know if he had watched a Teen Dog Shades night or something one night. By the way, in 1956, look how big that fucking comics code is.
Like they want you to know that this is comic code approved.
Now this book's about baseball and the Yankees. Look at that. It's the 1927 Yankees. You got Bob Musial, Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig. Look at that. So the first story, it is, I think, a religious-oriented comic book. It's called Treasure Chest of Fun and Fact, Volume 12, Number 3. But it is a Lou Gehrig, Babe Ruth, 1927 Yankee story. How cool is that? But then look at this. Look at this weirdness. Talk about weird stretch. Their ignorance. The devil's bliss.
Is that a Reefer Madness ad or something?
Kind of. It's one of these things talking about how, like, oh my goodness, like D&D and like the occult and all that kind of stuff will like mess with you and pull you away from Jesus, I guess.
It's one of those.
Bands like Kiss and skeleton t-shirts.
I'll tell you this though, I do think it's really cool that my boss gave me a comic book from 1956 because it had the Yankees in it. But I also love that cover. I really do like.
Like, what is it? What is the title of that?
Treasure Chest of Fun and Fact.
Huh. So why does it have the Virgin Mary and baby Jesus on it?
And I also think they look very like Asian.
Yeah, right? They do. It looks kind of like one of those.
So like I think this is
do.
a rather profound image, man, to be honest with you, because I am fascinated with visions of the Virgin Mary. I think they kind of represent other things or whatever. It wasn't D&D. I just made it. It was talking about the danger of the occult in 1956. It didn't mention D&D, that ad. I promise you. But I think that's a really fascinating cover. I think it's striking.
Is the baby holding a dove?
Yeah.
I can't tell.
It's there's a Jesus there's like a Madonna Jesus story in here. Not Madonna like
Madonna.
Express yourself. Not that one, but you know what I'm talking about. There's a Virgin Mary and baby Jesus story in here. And I was also like, oh, is it Christmas? You know? And then he was like, no, it's baseball, the Yankees. I was like, oh yeah, you're right.
Are they trying to say that baseball, like Jesus plays baseball or something?
I don't know. Why is the first story in here about the 1927 Yankees? Like, I don't know. I got to read it. I got to find out.
Like back in the time, it probably would have been like the most obvious thing.
Now I feel like I really want to.
It's about the Yankees.
I don't know. Is 6'5" maybe? Maybe a 5. Somebody wrote their name on the top of it right there.
You said what year did you say this was? 1956?
Yeah. See
Was it?
see where someone wrote their name?
Yeah, I can see it. It's in like pencil or something.
I'm going to read the ad back here. Here's the full ad. I'm going to read the ad. It says, "Their ignorance, the devil's bliss. Every young mind left in the darkness of ignorance about God must be a source of satisfaction to the devil. Most gravely in danger of this darkness, unless regular religious instruction is provided for them, are the minds of Catholic boys and girls attending public schools. The responsibility of opening their eyes to the light of the faith is ours. Those meeting this responsibility by teaching special religion classes find the confraternity editions of the weekly messengers a real..." Is this like a Catholic thing? Yeah. Oh yeah, this is like a Catholic thing, I guess. But 1927 Yankees are in it, y'all.
Well, I was gonna say, but in '56 the Yankees won the World Series. So if that was published after the World Series, it could have just been a Yankees fan wanted to do something.
Yeah,
So
it's cool. I'll read it. I'm going to read it. I'm excited. I really like the cover though, and I'm not. We're not making fun of anybody's faith or anything like that. It's just, it's a piece of propaganda, obviously. You know what I'm saying?
Religious propaganda was a lot more blatant back in our day.
Well, this is
or back
during
in
that.
those days.
This is during that time of Wortham's seduction of the innocent.
Yeah.
You know, so like that's why that code is there and why it's so big. This code was implemented after seduction of the innocent.
yeah, so you're also trying to get
That's a piece of history right there.
some people from not reading Tales from the Crypt and Vault of Horror and stuff like that.
So
the Creepy magazine,
throw in the Yankees.
Mad magazine, which was in its early days then.
So I got these, which are going to go in the next round of mystery boxes that are shipping out this week.
Yeah, you found those?
Yeah, I found those. How cool is that? Because of Mike, we got these going out in the next mystery boxes, and y'all know who you are, and they're coming. Sorry for the delay, but they're badass. Somebody else is getting this. One of my favorite Happy Meal toys ever. It's a Bugs Bunny Superman. Somebody's getting
the Daffy Duck Batman.
Oh, dope. I have that. I have all four of them. There's a Bart Simpson someone's getting. And this is something from A Bug's Life. Who is it? Bestiole? Bestioli? I don't know. I never saw this movie.
It's been a while since I've seen it.
I don't know. It's a Happy Meal toy. I got the new DC books right here. There's Death Metal, Last Stories of the DC Universe. This thing is freaking huge, and it is expensive. Where's the price? $8.99 for this thing. Square bound. You see that? I'll read it tomorrow. I'll let you know on Rockin' Robbie Live if it's any good. I'll let you know if any of these are really good. The new Detective Comics is this week. The DC Very Merry Multiverse. This is probably going to be garbage. Flash, which is the second part of Endless Winter, is Flash. Third part is the Superman special. Some great covers on those. Then we got American Vampire 76. I'm not going to read this because it would spoil American Vampire for me, I've found. And same with Sweet Tooth, The Return #2. But we also got the brand new Batman Black and White #1 with a beautiful Greg Capullo cover. So I'm pumped for that. So that's the DC books I'll be reading tomorrow and reporting on Rockin' Robbie Live.
So are they bringing back Batman Black and White as an ongoing thing, or is this just a one shot?
It's a mini series.
Well, I mean, the one they did before was a mini series. So
Yeah.
I just didn't know if they were going to bring the whole mini series back.
The two they've done before is a mini series, so they're gonna.
Yeah.
This is
I've
the
always
next one. This issue has work by James Tynion and Trad Moore. Holy cow! J.H. Williams III, lettered by Todd Klein. G. Willow Wilson and Greg Smallwood. Holy cow! I'm getting excited. Emma Rios, I'm not familiar. Paul Dini and Andy Kubert. Hell yeah! Right, Brooks?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's got pin up by Dexter Soy. I cannot show you anything inside of it. The cover is by Capullo, but he doesn't do the interior work.
So I was wondering who they're going to make the statue of.
Bruh.
if they're going to do Capula's stat.
Where's that Trad Moore one? I gotta look at this Trad Moore one.
So now you're just gonna read the comic.
Yeah, I'm just gonna. What a great cover though by Capullo. I wish he did a story in it though, but I guess he's busy with metal. This death metal story. So the last stories of the DC universe. It's got, let's see, The Titans by Josh Williamson, James Tynion, Scott Snyder, and Travis Moore. Green Lantern by Jeff Lemire and Raphael Albuquerque. Holy shit. Wonder Woman by Mariko Tamaki. Green Arrow and Black Canary by Gail Simone. Aquaman by Christopher Sabella. That's really cool. The Bat Family by Cecil Castellucci and Mirka Andolfo. And Superman by Mark Waid and Francis Manapul. So the return of Mark Waid.
Yay!
So that's cool. Super cool. There are 7 issues of death metal. So December is the last hurrah, and then the final issue of death metal releases at the beginning of January. It doesn't go through all of 2021. Like I said, this is the last month of it, except for the final issue, which is at the beginning of January. But it does launch into Future State and then into the rumblings of what's coming up to DC after Future State. And we got some titles announced already. Basically, we're learning this. Everybody who's writing the Future State titles, they're writing the regular titles ongoing after that. But the most exciting bit has been that Rom V and Mike Perkins are doing an ongoing Swamp Thing series starting in March. Actually, it starts in January with Future State, but the ongoing series starts in March. Rom V is the perfect writer for Swamp Thing, in my opinion. He's going to be joining us in the first quarter of 2021 here on PCP for a conversation. He's one of my favorite writers, and I'm very excited to have a chat with him, especially on the verge of his Swamp Thing run. What do you think about this news, Mike?
I like it. If you haven't read D7 Shores, I highly recommend it. I really like Ron V's writing, and Swamp Thing he's not a character for everybody. So it's going to be pretty good. I would say, what was that was it the New 52 Swamp Thing that was really, really good?
Yeah, the Scott Snyder.
Yeah. So I would go back, if you want to get familiar with that character, like you can go back and read the Alan Moore stuff. There's some Vertigo stuff that you can read.
I would say start
with
I would
Snyder.
tell everybody to start with Alan Moore, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
The Snyder run leans heavy into the Moore run. So I think to fully appreciate the Snyder run, you have to have read the Moore run. I would even actually stretch further and say, read the Len Wein, Bernie Wrights and stuff, then read Alan Moore, then skip everything else. And I know Brian K. Vaughan was involved, Nancy Collins, I get it, Mark Miller, Grant Morrison even, but just go straight to Snyder after Moore.
And some of that 90s Swamp Thing was not that good.
Just weird, too romantic, melodramatic.
And then Swamp Thing became a female at one point in time.
Yeah, that was actually decent. That was the Brian K. Vaughan stuff, right?
I didn't read it.
Like the late 90s, I think. Like when he was like really kind of starting to make his name, right?
It was before Y.
Before Y, yeah, right before Y.
So, or Y had just started. So, but no, I don't know what I was reading because it was a Vertigo book. So I don't know what Vertigo books I was reading then, or at least I can't remember. So
Sean Murphy is not writing Superman in Future State. He is writing. Sean Lewis is, and so is Philip Kennedy Johnson. Sean Lewis, I think, is writing the Jonathan Kent Superman. I do not know, and it has not been announced who is doing Superman in March forward. Brooks, any thoughts on Swamp Thing? You ever read any of it?
No, I never have read Swamp Thing. Surprising. I've always wanted to read the Alan Moore stuff because I've heard it was good, but I just never got around to it. Has Ron V written anything like mainstream that I've read?
No, because you're not reading Justice League Dark or Catwoman.
Okay,
Those-
I've read These Savage Shores was him, right?
Yeah, and Blue and Green.
And Blue and Green, yeah. Those are both pretty good, indie titles.
And great horror titles.
Yeah.
So
Blue and
that,
Green,
that guy
I like his writing style.
Yeah.
Blue and Green is out already.
Yeah. Bro,
I wanted to read that. I didn't think it was out yet.
it's amazing. I read it. I let Brooks borrowed my copy of it. Brooks has read it. Brooks has read it, and you haven't.
So, well, I'm more into it for the why it's called
Dude,
Blue and Green.
I'll tell you this. He literally, him and the artist, I can't remember the artist's name, but and Aditya Bidikar, who's the letterer, they are crafting it to be like a jazz piece of music that at times is very structured and then goes and improvises. Like it's in the panel structure, it's in the story structure. It is so incredibly well thought out. It is guaranteed to be in my top 5 of the best comics of the year.
Yeah, that's one reason why that's what I wanted to check it out for, because of the jazz elements and so that's why I wanted to read it.
Yeah, it's out. We're sold out at the Deep right now, but I'm ordering more this upcoming cycle.
Yay! I mean, I want to read it, but I can also trade weight, and so other customers can get copies too. So,
Yeah, I'll order plenty because I'm going to really be pushing this one because I think it's going to be rather high on my top 10 list of the year.
So and that's my vault.
No, it's Image.
Image. Gotcha. Yeah. So I wasn't sure if that was vault or upshot or Image.
No, it's Image.
So when did that when did that Hellboy one shot come out, by the way?
That's the artist. Anand RK did the art, I think. May have messed that up, but yeah, that is the artist.
I was looking at the wall the other day, and I don't know if it got put back out or it was a reorder, but I saw a Hellboy one shot. I didn't know when that came out.
There was a new Hellboy one shot this week.
Okay. I wasn't sure. So
I'm not going to reveal what's in my top 10 or anything because I haven't really solidified it. But no, I don't think Pulp's going to make it. But Pulp will definitely be top 50. It's going to be really hard to narrow it down this year, y'all. It's even rougher than last year because there's a lot of good comics this year. A lot. So,
I don't know if people pay attention to what you say on this channel and other channels. I'm pretty sure they can pick out your top 5 from this year.
Well, what would you think, Mike?
The Red Mother is going to be in your top 3. I know that. So I don't know where it will fall, but I know that it'll be in there.
Is that it? That's all you get? The only pick you got is that Red Mother's on it? Because you watched the video earlier, so that I said it was one of the best books of the year, if not the best.
No, because we talked about on the other live stream the other day, we talked about it, and you talked about a bunch of just a whole bunch of stuff that you've talked about over it's like you can figure it out. I don't want to spoil it for anybody. I just know that that's a gimme. I'm giving the PCP Army a gimme, so they know what to expect. I can't say where it'll be.
I immediately think of things like Red Mother, Ice Cream Man, Decorum.
You talk about Gideon Falls a lot.
Yeah, but
this year it kind of. I don't think it's going to rate as high this year because it's at the end game. But the final issue comes out in like a week or two, right? So I'm going to do my video after it because if that final issue blows me away, yeah, there you go, right? But I think Marvel's best book of the year, honestly, and I've been saying it may be Daredevil, but I actually think it's Thor. I think Thor is Marvel's best book of the year. I think DC's best book of the year is Wonder Woman Dead Earth.
Yeah, that was probably my favorite.
Is that a Black Label?
Yeah, you would, Brooks, I know you. You would fucking love that book, man.
Did we only
hearing a lot about it? My interest is peaked.
Did we only get one copy of that in on trade?
We got another one in today.
Okay. I know I have to put one back.
It's a hardcover.
I got to put one back for a customer. So I might just put in a special order for that.
Oh, Buzzkill's awesome. I think his best work this year is Thor. That's just me, though. Man, I loved Hoxpox, but the X books have been underwhelming to me. I still like them, but they're definitely not top 10 for me this year. There may be, I don't even know if there's going to be an appearance by Marvel or DC in my top 10 this year, y'all. And I am already prepared for the comments. You know, this is just an indie list. I mean, I'm sorry, but like those are the most compelling books to me, are a lot of the indies. But I'm thinking maybe like Death Metal is obviously one of my favorite books of the year, but I don't know how it ends yet. Right?
Change, bro.
Oh, fuck off. You know I've always been into indies. Who let you know about Bendis in the 90s?
I mean, he did get me hooked on Brian Wood and a lot of his older stuff. So, Channel Zero and Jenny X.
I've always been into Ginny 1. I've always been into... Or is it Ginny X? I've always been into indie books.
No, it's Ginny 1. It's Ginny 1.
Okay.
I have that.
You remember that shit, man? We were reading all that like Oni Press shit. You know? Yeah, man. Couscous Express. Oh my goodness. That's the AIT Planet Lar stuff. I still have all of it over there. I love it. I love it.
Well, it became available. I can't remember who put it out, but it became available like a few years ago.
Image.
I remember picking it. I remember picking a good bit of it up.
I think it was Image, but Brian Wood's kind of been, on the downfall lately. Yeah. But he's done amazing work like that. Those works, Couscous Express, The Couriers, Channel Zero, The Massive at Dark Horse is such a wonderful book. So,
you really need to read. I can go back and I'll try to see if I can find all of my copies of DMZ. And
which is
give them to you.
Well, there's a lot of spec on DMZ, so maybe you should sell it.
I never got I sold all my issues years ago and got the trades.
Gotcha.
And then we never had, we sold those within, this is when we were at the old location at the other end of the strip mall.
Yeah.
When I sold them. And like we sold them then. So all we had was like, we started at 50. And we had 50 to 60, and that was it in back stock.
Tacky says, Tiny and Writer of the Year. For me, yes. I'm 100% ready to go ahead and announce that James Tynion is my favorite writer. I think he's not necessarily my favorite writer of the year, but I think this is his year of domination in the comic book industry. Brooks, who do you think the year belongs to as a writer in comics?
Probably Donny Cates for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, his Thor has been so good. And he's following Jason Aaron's Thor, which is like one of my favorite runs of Thor.
Yeah. Marvel was solid this year. But I think they had some solid books, but I think overall the direction of the company was weak. But that's just me. But the highlights are the Cates books, Immortal Hulk, Daredevil, for sure, the X-Men books. Mike, who do you think is the writer of the year?
Man, that's a tough one for me because I'm so far behind on a bunch of stuff. I mean, Tynion is you're not wrong. I think that's going to be on everybody's list.
I mean, with Tynion, you got Batman. We're talking about Joker War, right? That was a success. Then we got Something Is Killing the Children, Department of Truth, throw in Wind as well, and his work on the Justice League building into Death Metal and his work on Death Metal. Like, I don't know.
I mean, Tom King has some stuff that I liked. I still liked his Batman. I don't think it ended as strong as it should have. Like I said, I'm still behind on a few things. I still have to read Stillwater, and there's a bunch of indie books that I'm just waiting for like 3 issues to come out, and then I'm gonna turn and burn. But yeah, Tynion's pretty. Tynion or Tynion, I can't remember how to pronounce his last name.
Tynion.
So that was a nice little conversation from the podcast earlier. So,
we were trying to correct each other on how to pronounce it.
Yeah. And then I forgot who it was, but someone was like, you have to watch the video where he does the interview and he actually says his name. So
I'm just going to say this, man. I watched a video a long time ago from our homie Scott Snyder, and he said Tynion. And that was the first time I went, oh, it's Tinian, not Tinian. And so there you go. I'm not trying to correct people. Who cares?
Well, it goes back to the whole Mark Miller or Mark Millar.
And what does he say? What does Mark say?
Either.
He goes, it's both. It's correctly pronounced both ways.
Yeah.
But we all started calling him Mark Millar. Then we all started going to Mark Miller. And then it split.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So
because that A and that E have two different sounds. So
Yeah.
We being Americans.
I think we changed it because you got Kevin Millar, the baseball player with the Red Sox, right?
Yeah.
And all that kind of stuff. Yeah, and he's also publishing Razor Blades. Here's something. Who's the artist of the year? This is tough because here's something. I think my pick for artist of the year is actually teamed up with my pick for writer of the year on a book, which is not going to be on my top 10 comic books of the year. So that seems weird, doesn't it? But my first pick that I would throw out for artist of the year, as far as just MVP, impactful value to a company, to a brand, Jorge Jimenez on Batman. He did every issue in the Joker War. He did those issues of Justice League last year. Jorge Jimenez is on fire. His work on Batman is amazing. And when he's not doing an issue of Batman like he hasn't done the last few, I feel like it's not as exciting. What do you think, Brooks?
I haven't really paid much attention to artists this year, to be honest, but I've liked Capullo stuff and death metal a lot.
Hell yeah.
I wish I could think of more, but I just don't keep up with artists like I used to back then. I'm more focused on writers these days than artists, which is like the opposite of like when I started. Like in the 90s, it was all about the artists.
Yeah.
Like you want to get the book that had a hot artist on it, These days, I'm just looking for a good, writer.
There's a good suggestion from Eric is Marco Cicchetto on Daredevil. That's a solid pick. Solid pick. What about you, Mike? What do you think?
Yeah, I was going to mention Marco, but believe it or not, I couldn't remember who it was. But the Yin Francis Yu being back on an X book was pretty good for me. I mean, there's so many
work from him too.
It's been fun. I would really have to think about this and go back and look over a whole bunch of things. It's too hard.
Joe Bennett's a great one.
That's Immortal Hulk, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Fable's got a great one. Stegman didn't do too much work this year because he's been preparing for King in Black. That one issue though was fire. But Cicchetto, Jimenez, Dan Mora from Once and Future, and Tamara Bonvillain is my colorist of the year. Liam Sharp on Green Lantern, 100% correct.
Yeah, and like I said, I've been enjoying that book even though I'm behind.
Pepe Larraz is amazing, but I just feel like he hasn't had as much output this year as he had in the previous year with House of X. But his work on the Empire stuff and some of the Ten of Swords books were amazing, right? Right, Brooks? Like the first creation and then that final bit, destruction, the art in those were amazing.
Yeah.
Daniel Warren Johnson's on Dead Earth. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Clay, man, he took most of the year off to get ready for Batman Catwoman. We've only had one issue of it. It's great artwork, but it's rather thirsty. Did you read that, Brooks? Batman Catwoman?
No, I did not.
You should. There's a lot of Catwoman ass in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was that book we talked about earlier? The son of. Oh God, I'm terrible with names. It's a copy.
Oh, Mike Huddleston might be the artist of the year, actually, now I think about it. You're right, because Decorum, the artwork in Decorum is next level. Martin Simmons on Department of Truth as well. Oh, my goodness. What about, covers are something different. Who's the best cover artist of the year? For me, it might be Alex Ross this year. The Immortal Hulk covers, those Captain America covers, those Timeless covers.
Yeah.
I hate to give it to a veteran like that, but I mean, Alex Ross may have owned it for me. I know a lot of other people are like Matina and Art Germ or Perillo or whatever, but I don't know. Alex Ross covers look great, but I don't go after and collect them. You know what I'm saying? But I think he may be one of the best cover artists right now.
Who is the artist for Something's Killing the Children?
Werther Del Edera.
See,
Deladera. That's another thing, by the way. One of the best artists of the year is Jason Fabic on Three Jokers.
yeah.
There's not a single thing out of place. Great
I was gonna say I've been enjoying the Something's Killing the Children covers. They're just kind of basic, but they don't have a lot to do.
Yeah, that's Werther Deladera.
Yeah, I've been enjoying those.
And the coloring by Miguel Muerto is it's the conjunction of those two talents.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's that preacher style of Steve Dillon and I can't remember the other guy's name right now.
Matt Hollingsworth.
Yeah. So that's if you get a good writer, good artist colorist combo, like that'll really move a book.
You got a favorite cover artist, Brooks? I know you pay attention to covers.
Yeah. Who did the cover for Stillwater #1?
Oh man, was that Ramon K. Perez or was that somebody else? Let's see. That's a great cover.
Yeah.
Want to elaborate on why you like that cover so much?
I just like that. Love that image. It's so creepy. And I love the colors, the red, white, and black. Covered by Juan Doe. Oh wait, that's a different one.
That's a variant. I think it's Ramon K. Perez.
Yeah, Ramon K. Perez.
Yeah.
He was also the creator and artist.
Yeah, he's the artist of the interiors. That's a great book, man.
The artist that's in the book does the cover? My God.
Oh man, that's the same. Did you read Jim Henson's Tales from the Sand?
You know I didn't, man.
It was only in hardback form. It didn't come out in single issues. It's Jim Henson's Lost Story that they put into comic book form. It's the one about essentially just going through time and just different things, but that's the same artist, the Raymond K. Perez. So,
hell yeah! All right, y'all. We're deucing out. We hope you had fun here at the Double Douche tonight here at PCP for a random pop-up live stream.
Yep.
Every once in a while,
triple douche tonight, shouldn't it?
It's a triple douche tonight. You're right.
Yeah.
We got to find a way to change it. Yeah, we had the quadruple douche. You know what I'm saying? By the way, we already said it. If Two-Face existed in the same universe as Roadhouse, he's after that bar. The Double Deuce. If a bar called the Double Deuce opened up in Gotham, where's Two-Face going? There you go. Anyway, we're out. We appreciate you joining us. Station, everybody.